It's Teacher Kate, and today we are playing Unpacking. Learning English through gaming is a fantastic way to have a fun time learning things that you didn't know before. I think the vocabulary in this game would be good for maybe anywhere from A1 through maybe B1 levels in ELL learners. And we're going to start with one room today, but we are going to do the whole game eventually. So if you want to stay tuned and see the rest of the rooms, we're going to see what kind of story unfolds through this really cozy, relaxing game. So grab some coffee, get some popcorn, maybe a notebook to write down any new words you're learning, and let's get started. All right, so we're starting 1997. Not to age myself, but I was 7 years old in 1997. I guess I just did age myself. All right, so in this story, we are still a child. Let's see if at the end of this room you can guess how old the character is in this story. So first of all, let's go over what we've got in the room, okay? We've got a bed. Now, I don't know if this is common for other countries, but this is a loft bed. I had a loft bed in my college or university, and it was not fun because I would wake up in the middle of the night and forget that I was in a loft bed. So it was a lot of trouble getting down. We didn't have a nice little ladder like this. We had to climb down the shelves. And I think my roommate actually fell out of her loft bed at one point. So we switched back to normal beds very quickly. So we've got our loft bed. We've got our under the desk, or we've got our desk here. And we're going to start unloading our boxes in a minute. We have our shelving. And there's a lot of things you could call this. I guess if it were me, I would probably call this a toy chest. But some people might call it a toy box. I guess you could also call it a cubby hole. It kind of depends on how you grew up. I actually had a toy chest that my grandfather made me, as we called him, my papa. And it was actually kind of like a chest that you could sit on. But this one does have shelving inside of it. So for this game, I'm going to call it the toy box, even though it's not really a box and it's not really a shelf, but I'm going to call it a toy box. So let's start organizing. How would you like to organize this? Should we get everything out first and see what we've got, or should we go one at a time? I think this is going to be the smallest room that we do. So let's get all the things out of the boxes and we will decide where to put things after that. So let's open up. The boxes are really satisfying to open. So, all right, let's see. We're not going to talk about anything yet. We're just going to get everything out of the box really quickly. Okay. We're just going to be super messy, getting everything on the floor. Hopefully our mom doesn't come in and see us making a big mess on the floor. A really common situation for American children, at least when I was growing up in the 90s, would be moms coming in and saying, "Hey, clean your room. Your room is so messy." And I know that it might be different for different cultures, whether you kept your room clean, whether your parents cared about you keeping your room clean. Parents do different things. My mom was always saying, clean up your room, because I was super messy. So, wait, here we're getting ready to get rid of the box, so listen to the sound. It was a very nice sound. All right, so that's one box done. And oh, look, it's revealed to us a little drawer to put our things in for studying. All right, so let's continue getting everything out. This is a super cozy game, super relaxing. We're just getting everything so messy. All right, what do you think? Yes, and see the game is saying, uh-oh, mom's gonna be mad because it's super dirty in here. So we have to clean our room. So I think the easiest thing to start with would be to gather all the books. Now, if you love organizing things like I do, you know that we have to organize them from biggest to smallest. So let's start with this book. And it kind of looks like it's Peter Pan. I think it might be. Have you read Peter Pan either in your native language or in English? I read it a few times when I was a kid. I thought it was pretty good. I really liked Tinkerbell. So that was my favorite character in the book. So we're going to start with Peter Pan. And then if you look here, you can kind of see hair, well, it looks like hair coming out of a tower window. And if you can think of any fairy tales that have something like that, you might know what book this is. And I'm not going to tell you. No, I'll tell you. I think it's Rapunzel. Yep, see there's the tower and the hair coming out, and he would say, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. All right, then we have a book. I don't know what book this could be. Kind of looks like oh, maybe it's like a Girl Scout book. I have played this game, but I've never thought about what the books could be. So I think this could be a Girl Scout book. And if you don't know what Girl Scouts is, Girl Scouts, well, there's a lion on the back. Let's just assume that it's Girl Scouts, because then we can talk about Girl Scouts. So Girl Scouts, again, this was in the 90s, is a club where you could earn badges. It's kind of like, you probably know Boy Scouts a lot more than you know Girl Scouts, but Girl Scouts had different, you become different levels when you're different ages, you win badges, you sell cookies. Girl Scout cookies are the best thing in the planet. I like Thin Mints, but some people like coconut macaroons. So the next book we're gonna get, let's see, kind of looks like, what is it? What could it be? Because there's an octopus. So I was gonna say maybe like under this, was it 80,000 Leagues Under the Sea? But maybe not, because they would be in a submarine. I'm not sure. If you think you know what book this could be, let me know in the comments. All right, I think we've gotten all the tall books out of the way. So let's see, we've got kind of a book that has a rocket on it. So who knows what that could be. And we got one that looks like, it kind of looks like Dracula, honestly. I don't know how old this kid is, but should they be reading Dracula? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of shorter. There's this book with an elephant. I wonder if it's kind of like an easier reader, because we'd have those easy readers when we were kids. We've got the bear book. All right, it looks pretty nice like this. Oh, we didn't get this one. I have no idea what this one could be. What could that one be? Did we get all of the regular books? I think we did. Now, let's take a look at this. You notice it has a lock on it, so this would be either a diary or a journal. I had one from a company called Lisa Frank. If you've ever seen Lisa Frank, it is magical. Not so much now. There's a documentary about Lisa Frank, and it's doesn't seem to be tell a good story, but I had a Lisa Frank cat diary that had a little lock and a key. Now you may go, should we put it with the books? And the answer is no, because this is where we tell all of our darkest secrets, all of our deepest thoughts. We don't want to just put it on the bookshelf. So here's where you do it. You know, mom will never find it under here, under the pillow. So that's where we're going to keep it, right there. It's the best hiding place, to be honest. All right, let's see. We've got a kind of a notebook. So I think that would be good to put on our desk. So maybe it's good for studying. I think we got all the books. So let's pick up all the stuffed animals. Now, a lot of my younger students have had different ideas of where we should put the stuffed animals, but as for me, I believe they go on the bed. So we're gonna put them on the bed. But you always want to make sure that your animals don't take up too much room. You want to make sure that you still have room for yourself on the bed. We'll see at the end of this. All right. Got Miss Kitty, got the dragon. This is the coolest one in my opinion. This pig is on the cover of the game, so obviously it's the favorite stuffed animal, but in my opinion, the dragon should be stealing the show. Or the frog. I really like the frog a lot. Which stuffed animal would be your favorite? And well, my favorite stuffed animal was a little dog named Muffin, and I saved him from a yard sale, and I kept him with me. He has hardly any stuffing left in him, and he's kind of the color of, he's very brown. He's been with me for a long time, years and years and years. So, but that's Muffin. That's my favorite stuffed animal from childhood. So, what's your favorite stuffed animal from your childhood? Or if you're still a kid, what's your favorite stuffed animal now? And we can see that she loves this pig a lot because, or he or she love this pig a lot because look at this drawing they've made. So I'm gonna put this on the windowsill. That's a good place. All right, I think we got all the stuffed animals. Let's hang up this poster that she also drew. Should we hang it over the bed? Let's put it over here next to the window. And then we've got this really cute poster that we'll hang up. It looks this. Now, remember I said something about Lisa Frank? So Lisa Frank items looked a lot like this, all the colors and the rainbows. And so that's why we can say this is definitely a 90s kid, because Lisa Frank was really big in the 90s and early 2000s. And I just loved their stuff. All right, so next let's do the as we say, the boom box, okay? Maybe you could call it a radio, tape player, whatever. I call it a boombox, and we can also play some music. I think. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Definitely 90s pop for sure. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so I'm gonna put the boombox right here. And then we have our cassette tapes. If you're very, very young, you might go, oh, what are these? What are these cassette tapes here? And this is how we used to listen to music. I used to have a whole set of them that I would make my mom play in the car rides that we would take. And I would just rewind my favorite songs over and over and over again. All right, so a lot of debate about this. Is it a trash can? Is it a bin? I call it a trash can. You may say, oh, but Kate, it doesn't look like a can. Why would you call it a can? Because I can, and that's why it's called a trash can. So it's going under the desk. And jump rope, let's put it on the shelf. I think in the toy chest would be a good place to put our games. We've got checkers / chess. I'm okay at checkers, and I can't play chess at all. Do you play chess or checkers? Now, this game is kind of a joke. It's called Procedure, but we have a game called Operation, and you would try to get tiny little things out of this guy, and if you touched any part of him, it would go bzzz, and it would scare you. And I didn't have this game, but my cousin did, so it's really fun. It doesn't sound fun the way I described it. I'm going to put this is kind of like an album, a family album with pictures. So I'm going to put that here. And this is a game called Simon Says, where you have to, it'll blink the lights in different orders and you have to copy the order as much as you can. Well, it was a simple time in the 90s. A lot of simple things that were just fun. All right, we got our Rubik's Cube. Let's, do this like a genius, right? I think it can go in here. I'm gonna put our backpack here on the side of our, it's a really cool backpack too, on the side of our toy chest. I think that we could put our little figurines on the desk. So we've got our little horses. I definitely had some little horses as a kid. Here's an interesting thing. This is a real toy. This is what trolls used to look like before they became colorful and pink and cute. Troll dolls used to look like this, and they were super ugly, and all my friends had them, and everybody collected them except for me, and I just didn't get the appeal. But they were just really, really ugly little dolls that you could collect and do their hair. And then we've got kind of like, I was gonna say maybe the bad guy, but just because he doesn't look nice doesn't mean that he's a bad guy, right? We have to give people a chance. This could be the bad guy for all we know. Then we've got like a superhero. And here's something I'm not going to comment too much about, but this is a dreidel. And for those of you who don't know, if you were kind of Jewish American, this is something that you would have, I believe, during Hanukkah. And I'm not going to say more about that because I don't know it. I'm not Jewish. So, you know, just know that that is something. I'm going to put that here, actually. And I feel like the soccer trophy, yes, in America we call it soccer, not football, because we have our own scary version of football. Let's put it up here on the top shelf. And then I feel like, let's go ahead and get our desk supplies. This is our eraser, can go in here. Our scissors. Our ruler. What else? I'm gonna go ahead, just in case we want to sneak a game. This is definitely designed after the Game Boy, one of the first handheld gaming devices of our time. I had a Game Boy Color. It was pink, and I had Toy Story and A Bug's Life on my Game Boy Color. What if we could put this? Now this is like, if you know what a Tamagotchi is, but I feel like this is a Gigapet. It could be a Tamagotchi, but there were also things called Gigapets, and I really wanted one really badly. My friend had a cat, and she would let me play with it, just a little pet you keep. And then my boyfriend bought me a Tamagotchi when I was an adult because we never really grow up. I think that's good. We'll close that. And I think our crayons could probably go up here. I kind of want them like, I want them the other way, but they won't let me turn it, so I'm going to put it that way. Then we've got our little piggy bank. Now, we do use the word piggy bank for anything that we put our extra change in as kids, even if it doesn't look like a pig. I think that it's just normal to call it a piggy bank. I had a piggy bank that was in the shape of a building, so, but I still called it a piggy bank. So we're gonna put it here. I think we can fit our soccer ball in here. Yeah. And then she's got a little London bus. I'm gonna put it right there. Let's put our pencils here. And let's put our camera up here. And let's close this up. And when we put this up, we should get a star if we've done a good job. We're gonna put it here. Ready? Nice. Okay. All right, so there we go. We have our room done. Finally, my own room. Now, if you have ever said, finally, my own room before, then you probably had siblings who you had to share a room with. That actually never happened for me. I have two younger sisters that we each had our own room. But, yeah, so there we go. We've done the first room. Next time we'll do another room. We'll have grown. And a new part of the story will happen. So, oh yeah, so based on all of that you've seen, the soccer trophy, the book levels, the toys, how old would you say that this child is? I was kind of thinking somewhere between like maybe 8 to 12, somewhere like that. The books are pretty advanced, I would say, for an 8-year-old, but I was also reading that at 8, so maybe so. All right, well, that is all for today. Thank you so much for coming and unpacking with me. If you want to subscribe and see more of Unpacking, we'll probably try to put out another one pretty soon. And thanks for learning English with me. See you next time. Bye.